And just an extra warm welcome to everyone. This is Recovery Dharma, and my name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in this beautiful community. And one of the most unique things that we do in the Spokane Sangha is we take Buddhist practices and principles and we explore them for the entire month. And for the year 2026, what I've decided to do was bring us all back to basics. What is the foundation of Recovery Dharma and the foundation of Buddhism in general? Many of you already know this, but in case some of you don't, the first teaching of the Buddha was the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. That is the ancient foundation upon which we stand. And so what I have done in my years of practice is I've contemplated the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, and I really wanted to talk about it and share it with other people in a way where the language was more relatable for me. So, for instance, I have simply reimagined the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path so that it is accessible to me as a contemporary woman. Let me give you an example. For the month of January, we explored the first noble truth, which is there is suffering. You hear it all the time. Well, I'm not always suffering. That the weight of that's like, oh, I'm not always suffering. Life isn't always torturous. I'm not always completely upended, on my back, out of breath, bewildered. But I'm almost always annoyed. Almost always irritated, agitated, pissed off, you know? And when I take that into context, I'm like, right, it's not really suffering, but I'm not at ease. I'm not comfortable. I don't have the fullest access to the miracle of life. I'm annoyed. So we explored for January the first noble truth reimagined. There is discomfort. We get uncomfortable. Things are unpleasant. But here's a catch that we've done. Is life isn't just those things. Life is always its opposite as well. And why that's an important thing to remember and how it's often overlooked is the thing I really enjoy can become sources of pain and discomfort and unpleasantness. And all of us here know that. So, for example, if we've been using substances like drugs or alcohol or even food to address stresses in our life, confusions in our life, traumas in our life, coping, initially those coping activities were highly effective. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done them for so long. They were highly effective. They worked. They brought soothing. They brought calm. They were great. The discomfort I felt was eased with this pleasant thing until it wasn't. And now this discomfort that I addressed with this pleasant thing is now a source of my discomfort again. So what we've done with the first noble truth is we remember that often the nature of reality is dualistic. In the Western mind especially, we have this propensity to look at things as either good or bad. And what we did is there's both. So there's comfort and there's discomfort. And now for the month of February, we've been exploring the second noble truth. There are causes and conditions to our comfort and our discomfort. There are reasons for this. They don't just drop out of the sky. And the most difficult thing that the Buddhist practice, I think the most difficult action that the Buddhist practice gently but firmly demands of us is that we look at the source of these conditions being right here. Not me exactly for all of you, but I'm the source of my misery. My actions contribute to my discomfort and my comfort. They may not be the sole reason, the sole cause. Let's be very clear about that. We don't want to heap on so much responsibility, but we also don't want to be averse to owning some responsibility. I have participated in creating conditions in my life that have brought me misery and have brought me ease. We all know this. So now what we've done is we've began to explore what those conditions are. Things like the qualities of that are very human, like aversion, impatience, grasping, annoyance. All of these qualities that define us as whole human beings can lead to unskillful actions. And by extension, causes and conditions to our own misery. One of the other things that the Buddhist practice does that I really, really love with respect to recovery is it takes the surgeon's glaring light off the single action of misuse, like substance misuse or sexual misconduct or doom scrolling or the negative habit energy we may have toward food. And it diffuses the light a little bit. And it asks us to say, yes, that is one habit energy that needs to be addressed. But as a whole human being, I have lots and lots of other habits, both positive and negative, that can contribute to the one activity that has really caused so much mind and heartache in my life. So we're trying to take a broader view here than just focusing on drinking, using, and so on. All right? So today is an auspicious day because it's the last day of our practice for the month of February. And next month, we're going to be exploring harmony. The third noble truth is there's an end to craving. That's what it says in the Recovery Dharma book. There is. There's an end to it. There's an end to this nonsensical way we show up to ourselves, the way we show up to life. There is harmony to be had. When we understand the causes and conditions of our misery and our joy, of our discomfort and our ease, we begin to experience this equanimous state of harmony. So that's what we'll look into next month. Today, however, I'm going to share with you a sentiment of metta that's going to be the focus of our practice as a way to celebrate our amazing efforts to look at our conditions that are defining each of our lives, and as a bridge to go into harmonizing the whole of our lives. Now, one of the reasons why I preface with this, friends, is in the West, we are governed by a pretty entrenched stigma that says anytime I can identify a condition that's negative, I need to get rid of it. And I'm only going to bring in the positive. Going to cut out all the negative and just live my life in this positive bubble. And I say, good luck. And I hope you have fun. I'm going to do my life a little bit differently, which means I'm going to include it all. My giant iridescent Glinda bubble has it all. And It is my belief, and it's certainly been my practice, that the Buddha was encouraging us to be fearless before the conditions that stir terror within us. There's a wonderful parable out there. I've talked about it many times, and in fact, we have a wonderful recording called The Buddha and the Terrorists. And this is the parable about Angulimala, who was a wicked, vicious murderer, and he encountered the Buddha, and the Buddha was still. He faced this terrorist and was still, and amazing things happened, miraculous things happened. So the Buddhist practice is to say, hey, the whole of my life is this combination of good, bad, neutral. How can I be with all of it? How can I understand all of it? And that's what we're doing. We're going to practice. And so we have the wisdom of Thich Nhat Hanh. And I'd like to share with you my very loved, one of my very favorite loved books called Moments of Mindfulness. And you can see all the smudges on it. It's been everywhere, on my tractor, in the wood pile, you know. Alrighty, this is number 31. Understanding is the foundation of love. That's it. Understanding is the foundation of love. So I invite you now, if it's comfortable for you, to close your eyes and maybe invite your body into the posture of sada that we've talked about many times here, which is a very intentional posture. And it begins by sitting nice and tall. If you're sitting in a chair, sit at the edge of your seat, sit up so the spine is straight. The hips in relationship to the core of your body are at a 90 degree if you can make it. The core belly is relaxed but engaged. And bring your gaze to your shoulders. Right now, my shoulders are a little bit hunched and curved forward intentionally. I want you to see what that looks like. Not particularly very comfortable. And what I'm going to do is allow them to come up even more. And then I'm going to slowly roll my shoulders without arching my back, backward and down. And I'm going to allow my shoulders to just find a posture of rest that is down and slightly back. And I'm going to need to roll my shoulders a few times because I've been at the computer this morning. All right, once you get that posture, I'm going to tuck my elbows in, interlace my fingers, and roll and put them on my desk that's in front of me. And you'll notice that, well, you might not be able to see it, but my chest is slightly elevated. My heart is elevated. So I'd like you to elevate your heart. This is the posture of sada, heart-led. Understanding is the foundation of love. When we understand the causes and conditions of what stirs up any kind of discomfort in our lives, we gain better access to self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-forgiveness, self-love. This is not about becoming a saint. This is not about becoming holier than thou. This is not about baptizing ourselves in some kind of incorruptible goodness. This is simply about recognizing all the conditions in my life, for example, all the regrets, all the unskillful things I've done in my life, all the ways that I've lied, all the ways that I've stolen people's time, all the little murders I've committed against yellow jackets and worms and microbes and ants. I've even helped some of my pets die. There's something very powerful about looking at my capacity to take a life. I don't feel good about it, and yet I also don't feel totally bad about it either. That conflict makes the whole of me. And while it doesn't elevate me into any kind of super good human being, I'm simply accepting, that's me. All of it is me. And why this is so important, at least to me, is because it enables me to extend this awareness out to you, to everyone I encounter, with a degree of understanding, acceptance, love. It enables me to identify my boundaries with clarity and sincerity. And let me say that again, because the way I said it, I ended it on a question. And there is no question with how I see this. When I create boundaries of understanding, I do so and meet people with clarity and sincerity. I'm completely confident about it. But I can only gain access to that confidence because I have given myself the time and the practice to understand the whole of myself. And in that understanding, I have gained access to love. And love is limitless. It is kind and it is incorruptible. Understanding is the foundation of love. How is your understanding? It will determine your foundation. Your foundation will determine your capacity to love. To understand the whole of oneself, the good, the bad, the neutral, is layer by layer by layer strengthening that boundary. I've gone from standing on sand at the water's edge and being toppled over by the smallest little annoyance, by the smallest little grievance, to somewhere in between another extreme, my aspiration, which is to be like the emperor in the animated movie Mulan, where he encounters the villain, Shan Yu, who howls at him and growls at him and points a raggedy edge, lightning shaped sword at him. And the emperor's voice very calmly, very serenely says, "No matter how the wind howls, the mountain cannot bow to it." I am endeavoring and aspiring to build a foundation as solid as a mountain. I have work to do. Understanding is the foundation of love. To guide oneself toward understanding is an act of love. To guide others to understanding is an act of love. Together, by pursuing understanding as a community, we create enormous acts of love. And I don't know about you, but I look around and I see that we could all probably benefit from a little more love and a little less aggression. Heart-led, breathe in. My understanding is the foundation of love. Exhale. Breathe it in. This understanding includes everything. Don't disregard a single thing. Everything about you is precious, and all of it is the raw material for your awakening, for your understanding, for your foundation building, and your expression of love. And the same is true for me. One more time. Let's breathe it in, breathing in, understanding. Breathing out the capacity to love. Let's go ahead and end our practice with a dedication of merit. Ah, a moment of mindfulness, present time awareness. Beside what you're feeling, whether what you're feeling is good, bad, neutral. Beside what you're thinking, whether your thoughts are good, bad, neutral. Beside the stories you may be telling yourself, good, bad, neutral. Beside what's going on in your physical body, good, bad, and neutral. Is a whole lot of life going on. And so being able to be with yourself exactly as you are enables a threshold to emerge as life exactly as it is. And me being exactly as I am, meeting life exactly as it is understanding. When I can do this, I stand taller, I stand stronger, my heart is lifted, my resilience is restored, my brightness returns, and my capacity to explore the limitless nature of love is ever more heightened. We have done this today. So may you take the merit of this practice into your mind, into your heart, and may you radiate it out for the rest of the day, moment to moment, as a gentle temperature of warmth. May you remember that your smile carries the merit of this practice. Your eyes carry the merit of this practice. Your touch carries the merit of this practice. And you, fully embodied, can change the world. You've certainly left a beautiful impression on this space, in this community, and in my heart, and for that I am grateful. And I wish you a beautiful afternoon, a wonderful weekend. I hope I see you on Sunday. Until then, namaste.